From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Friday, July 22nd. Heat and humidity will increase today with temps in the 90s by the afternoon hours. Tomorrow, your Saturday, is going to be even hotter with those humidity values increasing once again.
President Trump did not fail to act. He chose not to act.
The January 6th committee uses its final scheduled hearing to show how former President Trump refused to call off the mob attack despite desperate pleas from his aides, allies, and even family. Instead, lawmakers say Trump poured gasoline on the fire by tweeting false claims and celebrating his supporters. The committee used pre-produced videos and live testimony from former White House staffers to detail 187 minutes. From the time Trump left a rally stage, sending supporters to the Capitol, to the time he told them to go home in a Rose Garden video. Lawmakers played audio of General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, reacting with surprise to the president's inaction.
The Commander-in-Chief, you got an assault going on the Capitol of the United States of America. And there's nothing. No call, nothing, zero.
The committee showed a never-before-seen video of Trump refusing to deliver a speech the next day declaring the election was over, in spite of his daughter Ivanka Trump encouraging him to read the script.
But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
The panel also detailed the actions taken by former Vice President Mike Pence's security team. An anonymous official says members of Pence's detail feared for their lives.
There was a lot of yelling, a lot of very personal calls over the radio. So it was disturbing. I don't like talking about it, but there were calls to say goodbye to family members, so on and so forth. It was getting, for whatever the reason was on the ground, the VP detail thought that this was about to get very ugly. If they're running out of options and they're getting nervous, it sounds like that we came very close to either service having to use lethal options or worse. At that point, I don't know.
Representative Liz Cheney says the panel will focus next month on gathering more information before more public hearings in September. An Atlanta judge rules 11 people accused in a fake elector scheme in Georgia must appear before a special grand jury. The DA's office has been investigating efforts to flip the 2020 election results in the state. The 11 people are accused of signing a certificate falsely stating Donald Trump won Georgia and that they were the state's elected and qualified electors. The judge said yesterday the parties can work with the DA's office regarding their appearance before the grand jury. They can also potentially invoke their Fifth Amendment rights. Happening today, closing arguments start in Steve Bannon's contempt of Congress trial. Bannon's team is asking the judge for an immediate acquittal. Bannon's attorneys also say he declined to testify yesterday because previous rulings gutted their defense strategy. The judge did not immediately rule on the motion for an acquittal. Federal charges are in for the man accused of raping a child who then traveled to Indiana for an abortion. A grand jury indicted 27-year-old Gershon Fuentes yesterday on 2 felony counts of rape. The indictment also reveals the girl was 9 when the rape happened earlier this year and is now 10. Authorities say they learned of the girl's pregnancy in late June. Indianapolis doctor Caitlin Bernard has said she performed the abortion 8 days later when the girl was 6 weeks and 3 days into her pregnancy. Ohio had just banned abortions at the first detectable fetal heartbeat. The case drew national attention when several high-profile anti-abortion advocates questioned publicly whether the rape actually happened. Court records list no attorney for the suspect. His arraignment is scheduled for Monday. To ITMate and the message from business owners to lawmakers, keep abortion legal. The ACLU says more than 250 owners and leaders signed a letter asking the legislature to take a different path. The letter claims restricting access to reproductive health care threatens the health, independence, and economic stability of employees and customers. ACLU leaders say the organization is assessing the new plan on abortion proposed by Republican state senators. The man arrested in Indiana after escaping an Alabama prison is facing even more charges. A federal indictment alleges 38-year-old Casey White had 4 handguns and an AR-15 with him as he fled from an Alabama prison with corrections official Vicky White. Police arrested White in Evansville after a high-speed chase and crash 11 days after his escape. He's already facing a murder charge for the death of Vicky White after police initially ruled her death a suicide. An Indianapolis man is now charged with killing another man in front of his own child. Court documents obtained by News 8 show 23-year-old Tymani Johnson is charged with murder. He's accused of killing 38-year-old Micah Anderson last week on Brookside Avenue. Police say the mother of the child was dropping the child off. IMPD says Anderson died at the scene. Johnson is scheduled to appear in court today. Police say they now know who hit and killed a 3-year-old boy Monday and kept driving. IMPD says it's not yet releasing the person's name, how investigators found them, or if the person is under arrest. Police say Jairi Matthews died at the Clearwater Shopping Center parking lot on East 82nd Street. His mother says she pulled over because her car was overheating. Her son got out to play with a basketball and a car or truck hit him. And today, funeral services begin for a married couple killed in the Greenwood Park Mall mass shooting. A viewing and visitation for Pedro and Rosa Pineda begins at 2 p.m. The couple will be laid to rest tomorrow morning at the church Templo La Hermosa. The funeral starts at 11 with a burial to follow. Victor Gomez also died in the shooting. His funeral will be private. And today, IMPD says it'll present its internal review findings on the death of Herman Whitfield III. Since Whitfield's death, officers involved have been on non-enforcement administrative duty. As we brought you as breaking news Wednesday morning, the coroner ruled Whitfield's death a homicide, saying he died from cardiopulmonary arrest in the setting of law enforcement subdual. That means to bring under control, followed by prone restraint and conducted electrical weapon use. Police say officers tased Whitfield twice as he went through a mental health crisis. He later died while in custody. Whitfield's family is suing IMPD and the city for wrongful death. To business headlines, consumers are shelling out an average $10,000 more for used cars than if prices were normal. Copilot Research found nearly new vehicles 1 to 3 years old have an average listing price that is $13,145 more than it would be if typical depreciation had occurred over the past 2 years. The average price tag for a used vehicle is $33,341. Domino's is struggling to get pizzas delivered due to a shortage of drivers. Delivery sales at stores open at least a year fell 11.7% year over year in the second quarter. Facebook is restoring the chronological feed from Friends posts. This will make it easier to keep up with Friends posts. The app will still open up to a personalized feed on the Home tab where content Facebook believes you care about what will appear. Snapchat is the latest tech company to slow hiring. The company's earnings missed expectations. It's the latest chapter in a tough year for Snap. That stocks have lost almost 2/3 of value in 2022. And yes, Stranger Things is coming to an end, but its upside-down stories will live on. Both a live-action Stranger Things spinoff and a stage play set within the world and mythology of the show are coming from Upside Down Pictures, a new production company founded by the show's creators, the Duffer Brothers. And finally, the jackpot for tonight's Mega Millions drawing is now the third largest prize in the history of the lottery game. Lottery officials raised the jackpot to $660 million last night. If the winner opts for the cash option, they'll get $376.9 million before taxes. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.